So what are the two numbers on your range attack there?
The bold is 150 and the gray is 600.
It's within 150.
Yeah, that's definitely within one. Holy shit, you can shoot far.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Ken.
That's Tuxedo Ken.
We begin our adventure traveling across the Anauroch desert. The pace is slow, hot, and the full blistering sun beats down upon you. There are no clouds, no promise of water anywhere. Azam, the caravan leader, likes to start moving well before sunrise, when the moon's full glory makes the dunes look like mountains of diamonds. The sunrise is a glorious spill of pink and gold across the horizon, but the baking sun is soon pounding on everyone like a hammer in a forge. Vultures occasionally soar overhead, hoping that something has died in the heat. You've been on this journey for quite a while at this point, crossing the vast desert, heading towards the Grey Peak Mountains. As the evening begins to draw to the closure of another traveling day, you see a oasis in the distance. Ozam signals that this is where we will camp for the evening, and begins pulling the caravan into a circle and begins to set up tents. If we go to the Desert Oasis board, so hit spacebar, click the world up at the top, go to Desert Oasis, place your characters. Not quite that dark yet. Oh my god. Boop. Let me find our caravan leader. All right. So as night falls across the party, and everybody circles up, as Sam calls everyone over and begins to pour water rations, as well as serving dates and olives and breaking some crusty stale bread, and says that it shouldn't be too many more days' travel before we're at our destination. Let's see. I'm fumbling for things. I'm all nervous.
It's all good, buddy.
All right, so so the drivers stick with the caravans for the most part, securing their loads, taking care of the animals, as most of the other drivers and caravan guards, make camp here around this oasis. Azam says, "We've been working together for quite a while, but frankly, I don't know much about you." And looks to Mindlink. Did you not make it to the board?
I see myself.
Oh, okay. You hadn't picked anything. He looks to your imposing figure, Talgar. Says, "Why don't you tell me a little bit about you? Where do you hail from? Been traveling with us for a while. I frankly haven't even learned your name yet."
Oh God.
You're a god. No, sorry.
I didn't prepare where I'm from. I am Talgar. Oh God, I don't have a background where I'm from prepared. I'm sorry.
He nods, taking in your story, your life events, and other interesting factoids you offer the party.
Trust me, I'm interesting.
Way to get to know you. Turns his gaze towards Vesmir, shadowy blue-hued figure of a person. And what about you, sir?
Hi, I am Vesmir. I come from across the water quite a ways. I'm not sure that many or any of you have heard of the Moon Isles. Before you stands a bluish green humanoid creature. He's dressed in wizard robes, which are like purple and shimmery. He's mostly in black. He's got an eye patch over one eye. You can't really tell because he's got a hood over his head, but his race don't actually have any ears, and you can't see, but he's completely bald. His race is not known to have any hair or eyebrows or anything like that. He goes on. Yeah, I must say I'm outside my comfort zone here in the deserts, but adapt to survive. And he sort of doesn't talk too much about himself personally, but he does that on yeah.
Well, the Dragonborn Azor and his copper scales and takes all this in and nods and says, well, we'll soon be in better climate. Our journey across the desert is coming to a close. We're only a day or two away from Alashal, our destination.
That'll be great.
From there, we will change out the gear, sell our wares, exchange the horses and wagons for pack mules, and we will set out across the Grey Peak Mountains to arrive on the Sword Coast.
Splendid.
He turns his attention to a rather short-statured, green-hued friend. Says, what is your story, sir?
Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Glad that you brought me aboard here. Name's Vinny, and just let me tell you a little about my past here. And he pulls out a lute and he starts to play. Home past the range, where there's ruins and corpses are lain, where adventurers came and they plundered and slain, and now I'm the last one who remains. Yeah, my clan was all killed and all by myself, so just seeing the world, the desert, the mountains, whatever you got.
Well, I was frankly apprehensive about taking you on as part of my crew here, but you've served me well so far, and definitely put those fears to rest.
Thank you kindly.
Turns towards I don't know how to describe Tyee's character. So, turns towards Tyee and says, what about you, sir?
Oh, yes, very, very nice to meet you all. My name is Tyee de Guzman. I'm a friar of the Circle of Stars Order. Technically, you could say I'm a druid, but we focus mostly on again, like I said, the stars. So we study the cosmos, if you will. I come from the city of Shembia, the city of Seljut in Shembia. It's a desert nation, so I'm kind of at home here at the Oasis. It's nice to kind of be here. Kind of makes me a little homesick, actually. But it's a pleasure to be all here with you, and I'm glad to see what awaits.
Nods, taking in the details of your story. What about you, sir? So he looks to Karl.
So Karl says nothing. He's looking at the fire, his hood pulled low. You can just see the bit of an angular chin pointing out below the cowl. He turns his head towards the caravan keeper and says, "You needn't know much about my past. All you need know, I put an arrow in anybody that attacks this caravan, and that's that."
Indeed.
Are you
Indeed.
currently in darkness?
Not, not
Oh
entirely. No.
my god.
Who said that? Oh my gosh! Your voice from the darkness.
I mean, he is next to the fire.
Okay.
Need not share your stories if you don't wish. I am grateful to have your talents with me, with the caravan protecting us. The drivers at this point in the caravan, for the most part, are making their way to the tent. A few of them choosing to sleep on the wagons, but most at this point is kind of bedded down. Azam says, as is tradition, we'll be rising early and continue our journey, and if fortune favors us, we'll be in Alashar by evening tomorrow, where we can get some actual ale and true to form beds, and he kind of pokes at his tent and whatnot, and maybe a little bit of more protection than what these meager things offer. And with that, gentlemen, I'm going to be turning in. If you wouldn't mind taking watch. With that, Alazam turns and heads into one of the tents.
Oh, Jam, before you go, how are the water reserves?
We've got enough to make it there. The water here at the oasis we can replenish our supplies for. Just try not to disturb the edge of the water too much when you fill your skins. Nobody likes drinking sediment from their water skins.
Oh yeah, it's just good to know. I can create water at will, and I can also purify food and drink. So if you need my help, just let me know, please.
That's a very handy skill. Keep that in mind. He turns and makes his way into his tent. Drivers and Azam bed down for some sleep, leaving you, the caravan guards, to do your duty. The nighttime desert is bitterly cold in comparison to the blistering heat that you experience through the day, and quite dry. Camel spiders, sand scorpions, snakes, and large-eared hopping mice come out at night casually to murder each other, and they also have a habit of trying to get into tents and bedrolls. Did you kind of take in the sights? Is there anything in particular the party would like to do?
I could give a more detailed description of what my character looks like if we have time.
Sure.
So
talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, yeah. So out of character, you're looking at a man who's maybe 40, 45 years old. Definitely kind of in his twilight adventuring years, if you will. He's got dark black hair, strands of gray interwoven in between. Slick back, kind of ends in some curls at the nape of the neck. He's got a kind of a weather-worn face, kind of dark olive skin, the dark eyes. The eyes seem very observant. They don't seem to miss much, but he's definitely gaining in years. You can see the wrinkles forming, and you notice he's wearing a yellow gold garment, and on the yellow gold garment is interwoven these what are they called? I'm sorry. It's amazing how the words just leave you occasionally.
You're good.
Constellations. There are various constellations on this yellow gold robe that he's wearing. You would notice a dragon, you would notice an archer, you would notice a chalice as well, and underneath you would notice as well that he's wearing some hide armor that's more utilitarian. The yellow gold cloak is very well taken care of. It seems to be very old. It seems to be very well made. Let's see here. He carries a walking stick, commonly known as a quarterstaff. But you would notice that by the way he uses it, that it's not a combat tool. He is using this to kind of help bear his weight, or bear the weight of the adventuring toll that is taken on his kind of older bones, if you will. The last detail you would finally notice is on kind of his right wrist. You would notice he has a bracelet At the end of the bracelet is a diamond that would seem familiar to any spellcasters as a focus, and it occasionally reflects, even during the day and even in complete darkness, starlight. Very, 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 very imperceptible starlight.
That's really cool.
That is really cool. I can kind of describe my guy. I'm not near as good as that, but I'm a half orc, some 6'4", pretty tall guy, medium weight, kind of chubby, 220 pounds, middle age for my race. Long brown hair and a ponytail, dark green skin with bright yellow eyes.
Awesome.
And it's like a lion, right?
A lion?
No, the lion's
wait.
not with us tonight.
Oh, okay. I'm mixed up. Okay, got it. Thank you. Good to know. Yes.
Roar.
So my character is about 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". He is bring this. Yeah, again, he's got this bluish skin. Like, you don't really see this around too often. It's his eyes are, well, the eye that you can see is a deep purple. It's completely hairless. He doesn't necessarily look it, but he's probably the eldest here. Of a medium build. His robes in the low light appear almost black, very, very, very dark. And just as the fire flames flicker in certain directions, from under his cape and below his hood and on the outer layers of his robe, you see like a deep purple shimmer that comes across. But he is extremely well kept. Like, he looks almost immaculate in his presentation. He carries a staff, this black staff that kind of looks like it has a cobra head on it, and the staff has details of this vibrant red and this shimmering bronze around it, like certain details of his belt buckle, and he has a component pouch on his side that glitter with a little bit of gold in certain lights. And just nestled underneath his hood, sitting on his shoulder, is an almost purely black rat, with tiny little beige paws and a little beige snout. And again, he's got an eye patch over one eye, with a slight scar that appears just below where the eye patch sits. That's it.
Most excellent.
I guess I'll do a quick one. Just 3'3" goblin, spiky red hair. He's got a rapier on one side. He's got his loot over the back. It says I have blue eyes, but I decided I wanted gray eyes. And he's just collecting sand in a vial for no reason at all.
And Karl, you guys have been with him for a while, and he generally keeps to himself. He doesn't speak much. He often also seems to just vanish into nothingness anytime he walks out of light into the darkness. And it's difficult to tell if it's some magic that he's using, or if it's just that he tends to wear dark camouflage clothing. He seems to be very apt with a bow whenever there's combat. But yeah, very much he keeps to himself for now.
Vincent, there. I noticed you are collecting the sand. What is that for?
This is such cool stuff. It's dry, it's coarse, it gets everywhere. It's going to have a lot of fun, I'm sure, wherever we go.
Oh yes, it's terrible, isn't it?
I said fun. I didn't, maybe terrible for you.
I said it with a smile.
Ah,
Vesmir gives a nod in Karl's direction, just that he gives a sense that he completely respects Karl's reserved nature, and Vesmir in most circumstances is not much of. He's happy to talk, but he's very precise and almost blunt in a way, without meaning to be.
So, Mr. Vesmir, you must be from far away. I too am from very far away as well. We are both far travelers, I see.
Yes, I have come from the Moon Isles, out across the sea.
I've only heard of them in hushed whispers. There's not much details.
The islands are a thing of beauty.
Oh, no denying it, no denying it.
But, I mean, we have a long night ahead of us. Did anyone plan on taking first watch?
Yes, I'll keep an eye.
I'll go next then.
With a nod, Karl's going to wander off towards the west and start keeping an eye.
Just 1 second here.
Although I guess, excuse me, you guys would know that Karl is an elf of some nature, as he doesn't generally sleep when the caravan camps. He just sits and meditates.
Now, Talgar, you appear to be quite the heavily armed fighter, young man.
I am.
Which school of training are you want to use in battle? It's okay. It's okay. I understand.
Asking hard questions.
You see Vesmir just flicking with some arcane magic, playing with his hand, and you see magical trails sort of wrapping from his forearm up to his hand into a small globule and then receding back into his arm.
I'm gonna kind of look at Vesmir and just kind of nod my head in kind of tacit approval. I'm gonna take a seat around the fire for a few moments, and I'm just gonna anchor my head straight up, and it's gonna appear as if I'm suddenly lost. I'm just gonna kind of take in the stars. Well, gentlemen, I think that's enough for an old man. I'm going to go ahead and turn in. Karl, Ben, thank you for taking the first watch. You have my guidance. I'm going to cast guidance on him. I'm going to turn in. Good night.
So as you turn to make way for your tent, among the other night sounds that encompass the area, and the snoring coming from Azam's tent and a couple of the other drivers, you also hear what sounds like a wooden crate smash and glass break, followed quickly by a strangled exultation and an ugly tearing noise. And out of the corner of your eye, Tyee, you see small, furtive humanoids have snuck up into the wagons and appear to have killed one of the drivers, as you see the blood dripping from the blade of this goblin's dagger, black as the night sky in the moonlight. A cry of alarm goes up from the camp.
Oh, bloody stars! They've got the wagons!
And I will reveal. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Do I need to click my character before I do this?
No, you do not.
Okay.
I mean, if you just click on the character sheet on D&D Beyond, you can just do that as well.
Do I need to turn off the Roll20 thing?
Yes, I
Okay,
would highly
okay.
recommend you do that.
Okay, I think that's
Although-
I think that's making a delay. One sec, let me fix that.
It's just gonna be angry all the time. There, I made it a little bit lighter. And encounter.
Well, weird. It says mine was a custom roll. I clicked initiative. That's odd.
I'm-
Do you see me? I see. It shows me as custom roll in the log.
on
You're-
Talespire?
No, on D&D Beyond.
On the log, yeah.
Oh, I do see. Yeah, I do see custom roll.
I literally clicked. I have a +6, so I have a 12 initiative with a 6, but I did roll a 6. Let me just. I'm going to click it again, but don't
Yeah,
take.
refresh the page. It doesn't really
I
matter.
see 12.
Oh,
no,
you
that's
do?
not.
I see
You-
6.
No, that's
you-
for
you see
Tyee. Yeah.
Tyee has 12. Karl Ben.
Okay.
I'm just going to click it again, see what it does.
Yeah,
Because
that's fine. It does custom roll. What the hell?
I'm
Oh,
literally.
there it is. Oh wait.
No, it still says custom roll.
Oh,
And so
you
it's
know-
it's not adding any modifiers or anything.
I wonder if it's because I have the VTT set up. That's like, yeah, I think I need to do the same thing.
Yeah,
as
you just
Tyee.
gotta go disable the extensions since we're all gonna be in Beyond 20. In the meantime, I do need everybody else to be rolling initiative while we sort that out. Mr. Vinny, Vesmir.
We did.
Talgar.
It's in the log. I
Oh
got
shit, it's further up. It's further
Yeah.
up. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
That's 14 for Vinny. Vesmir got a 5. Moving quick. And Talgar. What did Talgar? Rolled a 3. Sleep was beginning to overtake him, and we'll just wait here for Karl Ben.
Oh well, I would have had a 12 because I did roll a d20 and it came up 6. So and I'm a +6 initiative.
Okay, who has Tyee? What's your dex? And Karl, what is your dex?
I got 12.
17.
Yeah, what's your dex is 12, Tyee?
Correct.
Okay, so 17. So Karl will roll you up to 13. And with that, now that the cry of alarm has gone up, the goblins will proceed with their actions. As Goblin A will shoot into the party. Yeah. Let's see. Moves around the corner here, and who is the closest person? That looks to be Vesmir. I'll get these names right here in a second. So as he shoots you with his short bow, he rolls a 16.
That's a hit.
The arrow finds its mark. It does 4 damage, piercing.
Cool.
Goblin B is going to take a shot at the Talgar. That's a 21, which I do believe hits. It does 7 damage to Talgar. Goblin C is going to shoot at Vinny. And rolls a 6. Rolls a 6.
Whoa! Hey!
E and E are doing things. One of them will run over here and take cover. The other one here will try to take cover behind this wagon. And that brings Vinny. It is your turn.
All right. Well, first I yell at. Do I know what they are, or I just see attacking?
Once the cry of alarm went up and everybody looked around, you saw the shadowy shapes, and with your background and being a goblin yourself, you would notice them to be like creatures.
Well, I'll shout in Goblin, it ain't worth your life. Drop it and run. Then I will go ahead and I will touch Talgar. And I'll say, you got this. And I cast Heroism on him, first level. Which basically, you're immune to frighten, and you get 2 hit points every round for 10 rounds.
Interesting.
And then I will bonus action hide behind Talgar. And in my turn.
Okay. So you hear the clopping of hooves across sand and stone as a shadowy figure comes charging in on the back of a warg. And he will let loose with a... He will let loose, I guess, with a javelin towards Vesmir. Rolling hot, buddy.
Oof.
4 points of piercing damage as you're pinned by the arrow, followed shortly after that by this commotion behind you, and then a wooden javelin pierces you in the back. And with that, Karl, Ben, you are up. Tyee, you are on deck.
All right. So Goblin Archer E hasn't moved yet. Is that correct?
He has moved.
Oh, he has. Okay.
He's just in partial cover there behind those.
So all of our buddies here have moved. I guess they've all gone.
Yeah, all of them except for the 2 that were on top of the wagons basically moved.
Oh.
I mean, they've all got their turn is over. They just didn't move.
Got it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move. God, I wish you could set the tile distance to be 5 feet, because the math is annoying. But I've done
just round.
Yeah.
Like it's
All
not
right.
it's not a super precise thing.
All right, so we're gonna. Oh right, I need to get into 18 tiles. We're gonna try and we're gonna go for that guy there. I just need to get with an 18.
And you can move closer
Perfect.
if you need to.
No, there. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm good right there. So we're gonna go to here. We're gonna move here. And with my bonus action, oh right, you can't really point with this. So the guy with the dot right there, with my bonus action, I'm going to hunter's mark him. It's 90 feet, and then we're also going to pull back the longbow and let fly. I also am invisible, maybe. Yeah, I'm in darkness.
Yes,
so
you're in darkness.
Roll with advantage, I would imagine.
You're in darkness, and that's what your ability lets you do.
Alrighty. Ba-boom. You know, I don't even know if I have to roll advantage with that one. That's a 26 to hit.
You should always roll the second roll just in case it's a crit.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there you are. All right. So I imagine 26 hits.
26 does hit.
We'll roll damage. Oh. And then we roll Hunter's Mark damage as well. So that's a 5, and the Hunter's Mark is that. There you go.
What's that in total?
11.
And that was 11 points of damage on Goblin B.
Yes.
And that was so your arrow hits him square in the chest and pierces deeply. He gives out a garbled scream as his lungs begin to fill, and he falls off backwards off the wagon. You see no further movement from that goblin.
I'll nod curtly and carry on. I'm done.
Tyee, you're up.
You are.
Vesmir,
I'm
you're
sorry.
next.
Yeah, Kalbren, you're not done.
I'm not done.
You're
Oh,
not.
I can move the hunters. Well, I don't.
No, you're not done. You have another attack.
No, because they were
Wait.
already under initiative.
I don't think it works that way. Hold on. That's not how I understood it. I just want to make sure you get your other attack, and I'm sorry if this is all weird.
Dread Ambusher.
It's this the reason this is session pre-0.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a
No,
good learning.
he's right. He's totally right. If I take an attack action, I can make one additional weapon attack that deals 1d8 damage of the weapon's type on hit. So
Well, it does your weapons damage. It does that D8, and if you happen to move your hunter's mark, then it would work. But you can't move your hunter's mark right now, I don't think. Because you had to cast it with a bonus action, right?
I did, and the way I read that damage would apply to the target I attacked. Is that right? I mean, the text is, if you take an attack action, you can make one additional weapon attack that deals an extra 1d8 damage of the weapon's damage type on hit.
Yeah, so like you can make one additional weapon attack. It doesn't say to the same target.
Okay. If that's the GM?
Just what it's under features and traits.
It is. Features and traits, Dread Ambusher.
Add your wisdom modifier for all start of your first turn each combat.
I kind of read that as an extra 1d8 to the.
I read that as if you take the attack action, you can make one additional weapon attack. That means you get to attack twice as long as you're taking the attack action.
But I just don't get the +3 on the damage, I guess, because normally with my longbow, I'm 1d8 +3.
I don't know why you wouldn't get your modifier. That's not an offhand attack, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, if that's how we want to roll, I'm fine with that.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Cool. Alrighty.
I mean, it's almost like a mini sneak attack built in, right?
Yeah, I think that's how I read it, and that's how I looked at it when I had my original Gloomstalker as well.
If you find a grueling on Google or something that says otherwise, but in the meantime, roll with it.
All right. Well, we're gonna shoot it. I got you see my rulers and everything, right? So that's used as a pointer. I can also Goblin Archer C, so we're gonna roll against him.
Okay.
But this one, would it still be advantage or not?
Are you in the darkness?
I haven't moved. I'm still in the darkness.
Well, I would say you have advantage.
Right on. All right, so I'd roll once. So close.
And if we're wrong, we'll figure it out as we play.
Cool. All right, so it's again a 26 to hit. Probably hits.
It's definitely going to hit a goblin.
And then that's a 9 damage total.
For Goblin C?
For Goblin C.
So 2 arrows streak out of the ethers of the darkness from behind the camp and strike both targets. And both targets have almost identical reactions as he sucks air and falls off of the wagon. You hear him thrashing about, and it slowly subsides. That would then, if you have nothing else in your turn, then that would be Tyee. Vesmir, you're on deck.
Okay, so how does the distance work here? I'm sorry, we described it earlier, I totally missed it.
Tile times 5 is the feet.
Tile times 5. Okay. All right, so I'm going to say, Acha, guide me, and you'll notice my robes, all of the constellations that look like an archer on my robe, they kind of just light up. I'm going to take on my starry form. I'm going to move a little bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, it turns out when I hit control, I can only spin my character. So or alt, I can only spin my character. So that's my push to talk key. So I'm like sitting here spinning my character, wondering why I can't move.
That's fine.
All right, I'm gonna move just kind of over here, and I'm gonna reach up into the sky, kind of grasping at the stars. I'm gonna ball my fist. I'm gonna pull down from the sky and up down upon the pig, and the other goblin is gonna come moonbeam.
Okay.
And they need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Goblin
Excuse
boss?
me.
I'm sorry.
Stand by. So when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn there, it needs to make a Constitution saving throw or take 2d10 radiant damage.
Okay, so then they will next turn be able to do that. Markers are on the list of features coming, but in the meantime, they're just
And
kind of shooting.
You guys can see that little bubble there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's essentially the radius. It's 5 feet radius, so 10 feet diameter. So that should be it, I think.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Tyee?
Let's see here. Let me see if I can understand my features and traits. So, on activation of my Archer Starry form, I can make it costs a bonus action, but on activation, I can also make a bonus action range spell attack. So I'm going to do that on what I believe is Goblin A at the ass end of the caravan there.
If you hit tab, it should tell you. So it's Goblin A.
Ah, Goblin Archer A, yeah. Cool, and let me just double check things. Let's see here, it's 60 feet, so yeah, that totally is enough space.
So what are you doing again?
It is, so my Archer Starry form allows me to make a bonus action attack, which is a spell attack. So I'm going to roll that to hit. That is a 2 or a 9.
9 does not hit.
Okay, it's going to sail wide right or something.
Sparkles go screaming by his head. Anything else on your turn?
That is it for me.
Okay, Vesmir, you're up. Talgar, you're on deck.
Vesmir clutches his chest, being hit by a bow and then followed by a javelin. And he says, I need protection, and moves to the back of the party, and he will cast Mold Earth, and a 5-foot cube of earth will raise from the ground between him and the goblins, and he will crouch down between them, and he's just going to hold out for the time being, just clenched to his wound.
Alright.
And that is my turn.
Talgar, you are up.
All right. I am going to charge at Gob Boss. Let me see if I can make it.
The goblin is actually riding the back of the warg, so as long as you can get to the warg there, you're okay. The warthog.
You also get 2 healing this start of your turn.
I haven't been hit though, so do I just stare? Or do I add to it?
It's 2 temporary hit points, so you add to it, even if you haven't gotten hit.
But yeah, you can close it. Or I don't know how many movement do you get?
This is walking 30 feet.
Okay, because that's 6 squares, 6 tiles.
Yeah, which was about here.
Okay.
So I can't quite reach him yet. I guess that's gonna be it for now. I can't reach him yet.
So, for actions, you do have several options available to you. Keep that in mind. Like, attack's not the only option.
I'm going to get my sword and shield out and be ready for his attack.
Okay.
So you're going to take the dodge action?
I believe that's what he's trying to do.
Well, there's a ready action.
That's for, like, if he comes, like I'm waiting on my initiative turn, and if this guy attacks one of my guys, then I'm going to release my attack. Like, that's how you ready an action, kind of.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, then my action will be dodge.
Okay, fantastic. So you're taking the dodge action. And that means that we are back to the top of the turn order, where the goblins are scrambling to try to figure out what they're supposed to do. Seeing their boss commit, I need to get rid of Goblin B and C. this goblin is going to run up here, and he's going to shoot at Talgar. And he rolls a 23.
Well, that's a hit.
Arrow finds its mark and does 3 points of piercing damage. As this dry piece of borderline kindling that's been shaped into a point hits you, finding a nick in your armor, and carves in and does a few points of damage. Goblin D and E. Are going to move forward. 1, 2, 3. Goblin A is 1, 2, 3. Or he is actually going to engage Talgar with his rusty scimitar. And he is at disadvantage because you're in dodge. He only rolls a 10. Fortunately, it
Dink.
doesn't do anything. But our other goblin has moved in, and Vesmir appears to be the only target he can see currently. No, he can see Vinny as well. Odds and evens. Vesmir it is.
Alright, so because I'm crouched behind this 5-foot wall, I believe we discussed I've got 3/4 cover.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when he rolls a 1. His arrow falls apart in his hand as he tries to pull it back in his bowstring. Vinny, you see this movement out of the corner of your eye and hear this arrow snap as he tries to load it. It is your turn.
Really? It ain't worth your life. Get out of here. So I'm going to take the palm of my hand and I'm going to lick it. And then I'm going to slap it down on Vesmir and cast Cure Wounds on him. And I'll be like, heal and spit. And that's going to be 5 points of healing for you. And then for my movement, I'm gonna go after Talgar. You know, he's still got my heroism on him, so I'm also 30 feet? Yeah, 30 feet. So I was behind him before. I'll be behind him this time. And then bonus action. I doubt I can hide behind him, but he's a tall fella. I'm going to try. And that'll be it.
They're keenly aware of where you're at. Goblin Boss and the Warg are starting their turn in this cone of moonbeam that's encompassing him. So I need to make a Constitution saving throw, Tyee.
That's correct. And my save is 15.
The Boss rolls a 17.
Fuck.
And the Warg rolls a 19. Actually, rolls a 20.
Okay.
Natural
So
19.
they'll take half damage on a 2d10 roll. Do you want me to roll twice for them, or?
Well, it's a great question. I think it would be like rules as written. I do believe it would
Separate
be
damage rolls, I
separate
think.
damage rolls because they are two separate initiatives.
All right. Let me send it then.
It's like spiritual guardians in a way.
First one is 12, so 6 damage.
All right.
And whoever is first in the initiative order, I suppose. The next one is going to be a 5, so was that half run? Was that round up or down?
It's down.
Okay, so 2.
So 2. Okay. Battered by this light, the Warg and its rider are going to move to Talgar here and begin attacking. He is going to swing twice with his scimitar. The first attack, he rolls a 14. What's your AC, Talgar?
19.
Ah, but you're in defensive posture, aren't you?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, so either way, neither one hit. The second attack, It rolls a 13, so that misses as well as it clangs off your shield and you deflect the blows incoming. Karl, Ben, you're up. Tyee, you're on deck.
I told you could do it.
Love how everybody's like been waiting to roll dice on these characters for a while.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like there's all these details.
It's
I
good to
thought
see
I
all.
knew this.
Good to see all the abilities too.
Oh yeah. Who you shooting? Karl, or Kalbren, are you muted?
Jesus, I've been talking the whole time.
Oh man, we couldn't hear you.
I
Sorry.
know. I
You're
realized
shooting
this.
something real good.
Yeah, I was the whole time I was talking. I was like, oh well. I said first off, a bonus action to move my hunter's mark on Goblin Archer E. We're still in shadows, so we got advantage. I got advantage. I rolled 15, 26, so 26 to hit. Figured it hits.
Can you see Goblin Archer E from where you're at?
I pulled a ruler. Oh, here let's move a little, because I can. I pulled the ruler and I thought I could, but that's a good point. This is also why earlier I said I'm shooting him and no one said no, so I kind of kept going with my plan.
I think it's going to be real hard for you to hit him.
It might be really hard for me to hit him. Okay. Let me figure out where I'm going here. All right. Well, we're going to just go all the way. My original plan was to shoot the boss. So that was
Okay.
I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 30-foot movement.
You can clearly see the boss,
I
and
can
he's
clear-
on top of his warg ride.
Yeah.
His warg mount.
I am going to aim for the warg.
Ooh, okay.
So we're going to be shooting the warg, and same idea, but the other way around. So, do you want me to just re-roll, or you want to use the rolls I already did? I'm fine to use the rolls I did. But
yeah, that's fine.
Bonus action, move Hunter's Mark over to it, and then 26 to hit.
Well, I see a 15 to hit. Oh, because you're advantage. So 26 does hit.
And then we got 6 damage plus the Hunter's Mark, which is going to be 3. So in total 9 damage.
Okay. So the warg lets out a squeal of pain.
And that's all I'm doing.
Okay. Tyee, you are up.
Yeah.
Vesmir, you're on deck.
I'm going to use my action to move my moonbeam. I'm going to set it here in between the warg, the goblin boss, and the other goblin. And I'm going to try to set it so that it doesn't hit my... I know that's engulfing him, but it's hard to move this bubble.
It's a cylinder that you'd be normally casting down, correct?
Yeah, it would be. I can move it, though, as an action. And I want to move it so that it engulfs...
Gotcha. Okay. Since you're able to move it, not just... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want it to miss... I want it to miss Talgar, though. Does that work for you?
The way that they're positioned right now, it would be really hard to get both of them. You could get one of them easily, but getting both is going to involve touching Talgar. And actually, if you do it that way, if you just move it back a little bit, maybe we could do it. It's just the way it was looking at, I didn't think you could actually...
How about that?
That's at least half into those squares. I would say yes.
Okay, so I'm going to move it. And this is just a visual anyway, I suppose. Anyway. So I do that. I move them. And I am going to use my bonus action to send another archer bolt flying at the Kalbren attack the warg. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to shoot this thing at the warg.
Okay. So you moved your moonbeam, and now you're using your what again? Your ability.
Yep. It is the Starry Form Archer ability.
Gotcha.
So rolling hit right now. It's going to be an 18 to hit.
For the warg?
Yes.
18 hits.
Okay, more damage. It's going to be 12 damage. and it is radiant damage.
Well, radiant damage. The warg is not looking very healthy at all. Like this radiant damage has like peeled away most of its fur and skin, and there's like big sections of flesh falling from it. But it is still on its feet, supporting the goblin.
And I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move a little bit back into the campsite, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of. Well. Yeah, like right there. And that'll be the end of my turn.
Vesmir, you're up. Talgar, you're on deck.
Vesmir leans around his
Sorry.
dirt mound and looking at Goblin Archer E, he reaches out his hand and at the fire next to the goblin and causes the biggest log he can muster to fly out directly at Goblin Archer E.
Using your main hand.
No, this is catapult. It is a dex save of 14.
How much weight can you lift up with that?
1 to 5 pounds.
Yeah, so you throw some, like I said, small chunk of burning ember at him.
Correct.
All right. I'd say it probably does 1d4 fire damage.
Cool. So he needs to do a dex save, DC 14.
It rolls a 17 plus 2, 19.
It misses completely.
Okay.
The
That's a shriek and ducks underneath it as the embers fly over his head, narrowly missing the wagon.
That is my turn.
Talgar, you're up.
I look at the Archer A that came up and tried to hit me, and I'm like, that was a mistake. And I swing at him with my longsword.
Okay. Unfortunately, a 12 does not hit.
Oh, shit. And that'll do it for me then.
Alright, it's back up to the goblin's turn. And that goblin that you spoke your intimidating words to will spit at you and then swing his scimitar into you.
To who?
Into Talgar.
Oh.
At Goblin A.
Goblin A.
Goblin A needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. He rolls a 12.
He fails. I'm rolling damage. Not good damage though, so don't worry. He takes Oh wait, it is good. Wait, hold on. Wait a second.
It says 13.
Yeah, why is it a plus 10 though? It doesn't seem. I'm sorry. That doesn't seem correct.
Yeah. It's 2d10. So 1d10 is a 3, 1d10 is a 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be
Smart guy.
I'm gonna be. Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna be open here. When that digital dice, hit my screen, that was a 0. It was not a 10, but it logged a 10.
Well, 0 is a 10.
0 is a 10 on a Windows 10.
I don't understand. I don't actually own dice. This is only my second D&D game ever. Okay, so it's a 13 damage. All right.
Yeah. So he laughs at Talgar's insults and curls his lip back to spit as this moonbeam just utterly destroys and melts him. He is gone as he crumples into a smoking pile of goblin remains.
Gruesome waste of life.
I laugh at him.
Where is my goblin B?
He's still between a carriage.
Yes.
Yep.
He is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is going to rush Vinny, screaming, "Filthy traitor! and swing his scimitar on you. And he rolls a 15.
Cutting words. What idiot follows a boss to an ambush? Cutting words. I use the Bardic Inspiration. I control roll a 1d6 to reduce his attack number. So his 15 is now an 11, which clearly misses me.
He looks confused by this course of action as the scimitar was on its way to you and just weaves out of place. Alright. And that negates basically his attack. The Goblin E, who's just had fire chucked at him, is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rush in and swing his scimitar on Vesmir. And it rolls an 18.
That's a hit.
Does 4 slashing damage with his rusty scimitar.
Cool.
And that makes it Vinny's turn, followed by the Goblin boss and Warg.
All right, well, that Goblin D is kind of in my face, so I look at him and go, let me help you see the point. And I pull up my rapier and stab him.
Alright.
Oh, that's a 9.
That does not hit.
Well, see you later. Bonus action, disengage, and I run back.
Alright.
And that ends my turn.
Goblin boss starts his turn with a Constitution saving throw. Natural fucking 20.
Okay. That's the half damage I'm rolling now.
Yep.
It is gonna be a
Using up my crits for things that don't matter.
so a 15, so 6. He's taking a 6.
So he's taking 6, you said?
Taking 6 damage. Yep.
Alright, he is looking pretty bloodied himself right now. But that he does not look deterred, and he will swing twice with his scimitars on Talgar, who is no longer at disadvantage because he attacked. The first one is a 20, which hits. That does 8 points of damage. The second attack, he looks to be a little off balance on the back of his warg. Only rolls a 9, so the second attack misses. The warg is going to make a wisdom saving throw.
Constitution.
Oh, sorry. Constitution saving throw. Rolls a natural fucking 1.
Oh god. He's gonna take 10 damage.
And that 10 damage is enough to make him collapse underneath the weight of the goblin boss.
More useless waste of life. What a pity.
Oh, wrong person. Alright, and that's turn. Karl, you're up. Tyee, you're on deck.
Yep. Seeing the warg die, I use my bonus action to now put the hunter's mark on the boss. Pull the longbow back and let fly another time. We're gonna go poing.
There it
is. Okay. Remember, you can right click for the damage to roll critical damage.
Plus, he takes 17 damage.
The goblin boss is pierced with this arrow. How do you want to do it?
So as he stumbled off of the warg and starts to fall towards the ground, the arrow sails in at about knee level, hits him through the eye, and keeps going through the back of his skull and embeds itself in the ground.
The eye, like a shish kebab on the spit, it does so. He is expired. And And Tyee, you're up. I'm sorry, Karl. Do you have anything else?
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna move. Come to think of it, I was just about to say 1, 2. Gonna try and position myself to be in line of sight of the stuff over here. Okay, and then I'll 1 down. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay, so Tyee, you're up. Vesmir, you're on deck.
Move out of the cover of the tents. I'm gonna send a guiding bolt at Goblin Archer D.
I thought D was dead.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Is Goblin Archer D?
No, he's still up. He tried to attack me and I ran.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Goblin Archer D is still up.
I have a mechanics question to ask.
Sure.
I drop concentration at any time, like freely.
Yep.
Moonbeam is gone.
And if you're casting something else that uses concentration, you don't even have to like drop it. As soon as you start to cast it, it's gone.
Happens. Okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt at Goblin Archer D.
All right.
It's a 10.
Unfortunately, that is not enough.
All right, I'm gonna use my bonus action to send a Starry Form Archer Bolt at him.
Okay.
It's gonna be a
sparkles
16.
happening. 16 does hit.
All right, rolling damage. It's gonna be, I believe, 11 damage.
11 damage on D. How do you want to do it?
You know, it's just gonna be really quick. I'm gonna take my right hand that's got my bracelet on it. The bracelet's gonna light up. The cloak's gonna grow just a little bit brighter, and I'm just gonna kind of toss my hand in like an underhand softball fashion and send a just quick bolt of light right through that goblin, nice and clean.
Leaves a hole. The body of the goblin is glowing as it collapses to the ground.
Again, another pity, but those are my friends.
Glowing. All right.
And I'm gonna move behind this tent with the remainder of my movement.
Okay. And that puts up Vesmir.
Vesmir looks at the goblin, stares with his eyes, and bonus action Misty steps 30 feet away, and then shoots an ice knife at Goblin Archer E.
Okay.
It's an 11.
11 misses.
11 misses.
But the second half of that will hit.
Yeah, it needs to succeed DC 14 on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
You rolled a 14, or sorry, a 19.
Ugh, he evades damage. That's the end of my turn.
Oh, he doesn't take half, huh?
No.
Talgar, you're up way over there.
Whew. I'm gonna make my way back towards the camp, towards E. Let's see how far I can go. And then I'm going to chuck a javelin at Goblin Archer E.
Okay.
And that's a 7.
Unfortunately misses.
And that's going to be it.
Goblin E. Looking around, realizing that fight's definitely not going according to plan.
I told you.
Is going to make a run for it with dash. So he's booking it off into the darkness. Vinny, you're up. Followed by Karl.
All right, well, I'm going to move my 30 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. And what's the range that he's... He's not within 30 feet of me, is he? Or is he just outside range?
He's just outside of that. He's like 40 feet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try this. Maybe help others. Well, real quick, what's he wearing? What armor is he wearing?
He is wearing leather armor and has carrying a shield on his little green arm.
Okay, that doesn't help. All right. Well, I'm going to point at him. My spell is a 60-foot range, and I'm gonna say glitter bomb, and I'm gonna try to cast fairy fire on him. He has to make a dex saving throw of 12.
He rolled a 14.
Damn it. That means he misses.
Yep, he dodges the little boxes of light that appear in front of him. And Karl, you're up unless you have something else, Vinny.
No, just watching him run.
He's just tearing off into the desert.
All right, seeing that happen, I'm going to just mutter, not on my watch. Walk over to the... Where is it? There we are. Walk over to here, which is less than 30 foot. He is well within my 90-foot dark vision range.
Yep.
So he's running away. Would this also be a roll with advantage? Although I would not say that I'm in darkness anymore.
You are definitely not in darkness anymore.
So regular roll.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the range is for your thing, so.
Oh yeah, my bow range is up to 150.
Oh, then.
May I interject?
For full range or with disadvantage? And yes, you can. Okay.
Sorry. So, I hate to be this guy, but I was under the impression that Fairy Fire was an automatic hit for the advantage, but the dex saving throw was for being outlined in light.
They're also... Okay. 20-foot radius. Well, any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined if they fail a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, so it's the also there that keys me into that this dexterity throw is extra to
Well,
the
no.
other thing.
What it's saying is you are lighting up a 20-foot cube in a range. If a creature's in that cube, they have to make a dex saving throw to jump out of the way or they get lit up. And so because he saved his dex throw, he jumped out of the cube before he also got hit with the fairy fire. So he didn't get lit up, and so no attacks get advantage on him. So the area I threw it on is lit up, but he jumped out because of his save. Because it says each object within the range is outlined in blue, green, or violet, but a creature, if it fails, is not outlined.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he dodged that.
There's some cool rocks and some sticks that you can very clearly see. Colors.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes. All right. The nuance, I have achieved nuance level 2. All right. Thank you.
Good question.
So what are the two numbers on your range attack there?
The bold is 150 and the gray is 600.
Edge within 150.
Yeah, that's definitely within 150. Holy shit, you can shoot far.
Yeah. Well, but the rub right now is the dark vision. That's why I mentioned it ahead of time and why I measured it. The measuring I have this is he's at 63 feet away from me, and I have 90-foot dark vision, so I would be able to still see him. Yeah. And also, as my bonus action, I'm moving my hunter's mark onto him, and then the real question becomes: if he's running away, is that an advantage shot or is it a regular shot?
It's just a regular shot.
Okay. Regular shot coming. So we roll 25 to hit.
25 definitely hits.
He he's going to take 7 plus, or no, 10 plus. Ooh, he's taking 16 points of damage.
How do you want to do it?
So as I see him start to drop, I kind of mutter to myself, "Gotta do everything here, don't I?" As the arrow sails straight in the middle, straight towards him, in the middle of the center of mass, pierces him in his lower back, and like before, the arrow just keeps on going and then embeds itself in the ground in front of him.
Takes 1 or 2 more steps before he loses strength and just collapses, no longer moving on the ground. And with that, we are out of combat. As quiet falls back among the camp, at least other than the commotion of a few drivers that have been cowering behind tents and trying to find cover, letting you guys do your job. The caravan master, comes out of his tent. What's going on?
Everybody okay? Is anybody hurt?
My pride, because they're my people, but not all my kind are good, so I apologize.
Oh, yes, it's always a shame. Terrible waste of life.
Vesmir raises a bloodied hand that was clinging to some of his...
Vinny licks his palm. You want me to heal you again?
Vesmir politely declined.
Oh, darn. I go loot the bodies then, see what goodies my goblin brethren had.
We'll take a quick 5-minute break, and I will pull up the loot table here in just a minute.
Cool, 5-minute break.
Real quick, is anybody hurt badly?
Vesmir is taken.
No, he doesn't want healing. I tried. No, he's fine. He's good.
You get targeted a lot.
I'm gonna go up to Vesmir and lay on hands, kind of pat him on the shoulder, and restore 10 HP.
Wow. Well, so with lay on hands specific, you can choose the number of points that it heals.
Yes.
So, yes.
Was that too many?
7 is all I... You can mark off 7.
All right.
Good. This is good. It's my Circle Academy. They just had a saying. It's teamwork makes the dream work.
Can you lay on hands yourself, or is it only other people?
Nope, you can touch yourself.
I'm gonna touch myself a little bit too.
Oh my god, that was not as funny as I thought it was.
It was funny.
It was hilarious.
Friday.
Vesmir just continues to use prestidigitation to just clean himself up to as near to immaculate form as he can.
Okay.
And straightens his clothing out. Sorry, we're going to take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break, grab a drink.
Cool.
All right.
So, looting the bodies. So you find amongst all of the goblin bodies a total of 5 gold pieces worth of various coins. You can just mark 5 gold pieces, or however you want to mark out of that. It's not
Just
really
one for each of us?
Sure.
Sorry, go on.
And let me... D&D Beyond, just X.
Oh,
weird
neat.
Times.
Yeah, that was easy to set up. I'll see how it goes. I don't know. I can't see how it would get annoying.
Because you gotta click it in D&D Beyond, then you gotta click Talespire, then click again to drag the dice. Like,
It's a little bit of extra work, but...
I'll give it a shot. We'll see.
It is 100% up to you. Trinkets. Alright, so you also find a small leather bag with what appears to be curved strips of pale, foul-smelling wood. And then I need 2 people to roll 1d100.
I'll roll 1. Do I?
I'll do one.
How do I do a custom die here in D&D Beyond?
Bottom left.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Bottom left is the little dice icon. You just click on that. You can select what dice to roll.
Yeah, I see up to D20.
Well, the fourth one from the top is D100. It's the
Just
two
a little
ones.
icon of 2 of them. I rolled an
Thank
80.
you. Coming in.
So you also, Mindlink, you find among all the loot there, or the bodies, you find a bronze pentacle with an etching of a rat's head in its center.
God damn it, I rolled a 10.
You find a very worn and stained piece of parchment that, upon unfurling it and reading it in common with an official seal, it appears to be a deed for a small parcel of land in a realm unknown to you.
Very interesting. And what was the other find?
A bronze pentacle with a rat's head in the center.
Pentacle?
That's what it says here.
And
So,
could
like-
you describe the small leather bag and the wood in there one more time for me, too?
Yeah, 1 second. It says pentacle, P-E-N-T-A-C-L-E. Yeah, so you find a small leather bag filled with what appears to be curved strips of pale, foul-smelling wood.
Interesting.
Could I try to figure out what that is? Maybe with a survival?
It would be nature check. Would it be more applicable to this?
You're right. No,
or-
that would be more applicable. Yeah, never mind then.
I would like to study this pentacle. Google says it's a talisman or magical object.
Okay. Well, it is what I described.
Do I detect that it like does anything or has any magical powers?
It is exactly as I described it.
I'll try.
Fantastic.
Is that a rat's head in that thing?
It's not a real rat, just like a picture of one, drawing of one.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I was asking the DM.
Back to the description of it again. It's an etching of a rat's
yeah.
head in the center of it.
Oh, very good, very good. Craftsmanship, you got to like that.
So
I'll
you don't want to roll that nature check?
I'll try the nature check. I may have read up on it somewhere.
Okay. Let me know what you roll.
11.
You're able to identify that these appear to be the clippings of a giant's toenail. The smallest of which is a perfect crescent 10 inches long.
10 inches?
That's
Wow.
what the description here says.
It might be used in spells, potions. You know, might be worth something somewhere.
I guess
Well,
there's something for everybody.
Why don't you roll me an Arcana check, Vinny?
All
Vinny,
right.
go ahead and take some guidance, Vinny.
Guidance is a D4, right?
Yes.
All right, let me try it. Natural 1.
Wow.
So that's a total of 8. Ain't bad for a natural 1, but still a natural 1.
You can't. It doesn't like you just can't get around your head like why anybody would want to try to make some type of concoction with this foul-smelling clipping.
Can I cast detect magic on a thingy?
Do you have that spell?
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Then that's what I do.
You reach out to it and you get no response. It just appears to be a talisman of no magical ability.
All right.
I bet you could shelve that somewhere and get good coin for it.
Stick it in my little bag for later.
So
Is there
other
a
than that,
name to the faraway place on my deed?
sure, but I'll have to get back with you on that.
No worries, man. No worries.
Barovia. It's got to be from Barovia.
Yeah, it's place Ravenloft.
No worries.
Well, I'll hold on to these clippings because you never know if a merchant might want them, or unless we discover use for them. Something cool, something new, right?
Sure, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose somebody is without this and may need it, so I guess I just hang on to it until I hopefully find them one day. And the stars, that they have a way of making these things work out. They have a way of working out.
You're a star.
Yes, that's the hope.
If there is an opportunity to take a long rest, it would behoove the party to do so now, as it is getting rather late in the evening after the activity. The camp is somewhat happy that the goblins were defeated, but is in a little bit of mourning as one of the drivers has succumbed to his wounds and has perished in the battle.
Oh no.
We
Yeah,
are
that was the
short
first thing that happened.
one driver to one of the wagons. He was
Hey,
a good man.
Was he alone? Was there family with him?
No, he was just by himself.
All right. What are they doing with him?
They're burying the body in a somewhat shallow grave.
I'm gonna go over there and just be with him.
Okay.
Just kind of silently.
Everybody kind of says some personal little prayers and stuff over him before heading back to camp to try to get a little bit of sleep before the dawn and the inevitable hot, blistering sun rises.
Yeah, but before I turn away, I'm just gonna say I'm sorry, old chap. I'm just very sorry. Couldn't get there fast enough. And turn back.
All right. So a couple of the other members of the party, or of the caravan, decide to stay up and help keep watch. Although everybody's pretty confident that the goblins won't try that again.
Where would they come from? I mean, are they settled here in the oasis? Or are they like desert goblins?
They are all dressed in kind of desert garb.
Oh.
They're wrapped with just patchwork of cloth and stuff around their leathers. So they do look equipped to be in this inhospitable place.
So kind of the D&D version of Jawas.
Basically.
Sure, they attacked in numbers and they got nothing for it. I doubt they will try again this
I
evening.
tried to warn them, it's suicide.
They tried to warn them. They should have listened. I agree.
Well,
They did not have appropriate wisdom, you could say, I suppose.
maybe in the next group, huh?
Hopefully, we'll see. I'm going to turn in these old bones. Can't very much. I'm going to go lay down.
Good idea.
So the party may cycle a long rest, reset spells, do any other activities you would like to do before dawn.
I just do my prestidigitation and get myself nice and clean. Kind of weird for a goblin, but I like it.
Go ahead and touch myself some more, even though I don't need to.
So as you cycle through your character sheets for narration's sake, dawn is upon us as the sun rises and the heat begins to climb. The contrast of chill overnight it quickly fades as the sun begins to warm the sand. The night noises fall away and the realities of the desert wasteland return. The caravan packs up its gear, folds up the tents, puts out the fires and so forth. After a quick breakfast, the caravan mounts up and begins heading west again, towards the town of Allashaw.
It's good. You're getting out of that spot. I mean, only bad things can come.
what's his name? The guy in charge.
Oh, the caravan leader.
He is
Got his name.
Dragonfruit Warrior.
Gosh dang it. Yeah.
Where's my Word document? Azam. Azam, the caravan master.
Azam or just ZAM?
Azam.
Azam.
So he takes the place of the driver, and drives the wagon himself as you guys continue to make your way towards some semblance of civilization. The day is long and uneventful, other than the blistering heat and constant presence of sand and vultures circling overhead, hoping for a lucky meal. You're able to make pretty good time. Azam is pushing hard. The horses are strained and at the point of exhaustion, when on the horizon as the sun begins to set again, you see some adobe buildings rising from the landscape. A rather decent-sized cluster of them that you can see. As you approach, evening begins to fall, and Azam says that the town is yours. That he's got quite a bit of business to get rid of the wares that they've been hauling to this town. This is a kind of a merchant port. He warns you to be somewhat careful, as the overall lawlessness of the wasteland does have influence here, and that as long as you don't cause too much of a ruckus, everybody kind of turns a blind eye. Keep your coin purses close. But other than that, enjoy the town, enjoy the drink, find some company, and that we will group up again tomorrow. We'll split up our profits from this leg of the journey and begin heading towards the moors, where we will receive pack mules to try to make the arduous journey across the Grey Mountains.
This town?
Alashar. It is spelled Allashaw. Alashar.
Sorry,
It's-
one more time.
Allashaw.
And it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Alashar is a town located in the arid desert, where vegetation is rather desolate. It grew up around a well-traveled crossroads and is comprised mostly of humans, a few dwarves, and an occasional gnome. There's a town square. There is a small graveyard. There's some open-air markets. There's a couple apothecaries. There's a couple taverns. A small bordello. And a few other smattering of things. There's a blacksmith, a general store, just a variety of different shops and dwellings. Matter of fact, if we actually switch to the board and go to streets, I will plop our characters down. It is a welcome sign of civilization, and people in the streets walking about. The nightlife seems lively, especially after the long journey across the Black Road through the desert. A couple things to note for Talespire: if you double right click something, it will focus the camera on it, which is rather useful when dealing with lots of terrain and other things.
That's good to know.
And in dark areas, it's nice to just turn on your torch so it's easier to see your character.
This is a great map.
That's what I was telling the guys yesterday. Like, I never get to use desert stuff, so we're using desert tiles. But yeah, the night is yours. You're not on guard duty. Good times and debauchery to be had. What would the party like to do? What would you like to go investigate? The market seems open and lively even at this late hour. Taverns, you hear noise coming from. Sounds like there's a good time to be had there. Blacksmith hammers pounding away on steel.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling some good grub after being on the road. Who would like to join me in the tavern?
I will join you. I could use a drink.
Oh yes, indeed. I'm hoping for some good ale.
Yes, it would seem that sustenance is necessary.
First
Yes.
round's on me.
Ah,
And
tavern
I
it
like-
is.
I like those words. Very good. Very good.
And so, just based on the people you've passed on the road, you or on the streets and stuff, you find that the tavern is like this big building off to the side here, almost sticking off the map. It's like over here area.
If you hold down shift and left click your character, you can pretty much teleport them where they need to go.
Now, interesting though, you said there was a port in this place. Does that mean it's bordering a river or?
Not a port.
Oh.
Did I say port? Sorry, if I did. There's not a port. It's a crossroads. Grew up around a crossroads
Gotcha.
of merchant ways. Where is my guy? Ah, there he is.
I know it says Tyee would like to open a thing.
All right, so hold on. Give me just 1 second to bring
Oh,
up
sorry.
It's quite a few different things. Where is my goddamn tavern?
Gosh, fellas, this reminds me of home.
You live in a desert?
I do. It's crazy as a challenge, but we live in a desert and we make good work of it.
Oh, what do you do in a desert?
There's plenty to do for a desert. We look at this bustling.
Yeah.
I mean,
You make your way through the town of Alishar until you come to an inn, which is aptly named the Crimson Dwarf. It's a rather large building with adobe and straw roof. The locals know it rather well for its gambling activities, where wagers can be placed on almost anything you can imagine. It's nice and spacious. The bar is roomy. The place is fairly well lit, with several stools in front of it for patrons that wish to drink away the evening, talking to Eldon, the barkeep. There's a couple large crates that serve as tables, which are large enough to kind of put out a map and still have room for mugs of ale, perhaps a deliberate choice on the owner's part. Chairs and benches of the tavern are a total hodgepodge of different furniture. It looks to have been bought all over different timepieces by different craftsmen. And you can barely hear each other over the din of the other patrons, who are pretty rowdy. As you enter and make your way towards the bar, one elbows you in the ribs as they try to get around you. Watch where you're going! As he kind of stumbles out the door.
have a good evening. Enjoy.
Behind the counter is who you would assume to be the bartender. A rather small male gnome who is currently lighting some candles on the bar. As you approach the bar and strike up conversation with the man, he introduces himself as Eldon Pilwicken, manager of the Crimson Dwarf.
Eldon, my friend. A round of drinks for my friends here.
A round of drinks indeed. As he tries to find the menu. These are standard beers, with the inn specializing in ales, which are allegedly quite good. As far as food is concerned, there's regular fare of beef, pork, mutton. Strangely, no breads or cheeses or potatoes of any kind. You hear another patron loudly state that he does not. He loves not having to put up with those pointy ears, complaining about the lack of green stuff here in the Crimson Dwarf. The house cheese is 1 silver, 1 copper, and is a light greenish yellow cheese, which is crumbly with pits going everywhere. It smells like freshly cut grass, and there's quite a selection of ales ranging in price from 1 silver all the way up to a gold and a half.
I found that sometimes volume is better. I'll take the 1 silver, please.
Pours a rather beaten tankard from a keg. The foam head of the ale kind of just overflowing as he slides it across the bar to you and takes your coin.
Thank you for this, Talgar. I appreciate it. Everybody else, please. Talgar is treating us. Can't let this go to waste.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I'll say I'll take an ale. I'll take an ale, please. Extend my hand towards the barkeep.
He begins pouring more ales from, again, now a hodgepodge of different tankards. Definitely not from a set. There are varying different sizes and so forth. He looks to the next person.
Vesmir, does it look? Are these different ales sort of presented in ways that you can tell which one's more expensive, which one's the cheap one?
You can kind of get a good handle of just by the condition of the barrels that he's pouring from, these kegs. The rather expensive ones have kind of a nice emblem marking them. The other ones just look like your run-of-the-mill beat-up barrels. But you've been in enough taverns to know that, it'll do the job.
Vesmir points to one of the finer ales, not the most expensive, but one of the higher up ones.
Oh, man of culture, he says, as he turns the tap on one of the finer kegs and pours a silver or an amber golden ale. Again, the head kind of splashing over, and he slides it across the bar to you as he takes your coin.
How much was that one?
That was 7 silver.
Oh my goodness.
Vesmir holds his tankard up and says, "Your patronage is appreciated. Thank you."
He nods. He looks a little stressed, but he seems pleased with the welcome distraction from the regular patron, who he tells you, for the most part, are a pretty trustworthy lot. Matter of fact, after he hands you that drink, he pours himself a drink from the same keg, as he engages kind of in conversation with you.
Can I roll an insight check on his demeanor?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Does he seem concerned? Is he paying attention visually, like eyes darting to any particular patrons in the tavern?
I'm sure. Roll an insight.
With concern of any degree. 14.
He just seems like it's a busy night, and so he's just trying to keep up with the demand. He makes a comment that he's glad that Brauga, one of the barmaids here, kept an eye on stock levels. Otherwise, they'd have sold out of lamb pretty early in the evening. And let me tell you, you don't want to have a bunch of hungry merchantmen in here with no food to serve them. In lieu of food, they'll just fill their bellies full of ale, and that leads to all kinds of problems.
Vesmir gives a nod and makes his way over to a table.
Vesmir, let me join you.
Vesmir nods.
Karl actually looks for a dark corner and just takes his ale and walks into it and enjoys sitting in the back watching everybody.
Did anybody just notice Kalbren disappear? He just into that shadow. He's gone. Poof.
Seems our companion enjoys his privacy.
As you kind of take in the rest of the patrons here in the bar, there's a pair of musicians warbling well-known drinking songs. They've made kind of an impromptu stage out of a couple of crates over in the corner. One of them seems to be tilting a little bit precociously, but is managing to continue to warble with the beat. There's a drunk-looking dwarf with a well-groomed beard going down to about mid-chest. Who looks to be playing some type of game with another patron. And after some back and forth, he pulls his hand out from behind his back and shouts 7. two other people do the same thing after a moment, and the dwarf cries out in joy. They seem to be playing some type of game as coins now being exchanged.
Looks like it could be some fun.
Vinny walks up to the stage and is like, you guys need an extra instrument up there?
Kind of look you over up for a second and said, "You any good?"
You want to find out?
Sure. They kind of make room on the stage. It is a little wobbly, but it supports your weight.
I would hope so. Yeah, I go up and just perform with him.
All right.
No, it's Vesmir. Look what our friend is doing. He's up there on the stage. Can you believe this?
Roll me a performance check.
Oh no, I suck at this.
Bard.
10.
Oh no!
The thing is, it looks like both of them have been drinking this evening, and everybody else is kind of in their own conversation. It just kind of fades into the background noise,
That's
and
fine.
you're able to keep up just as well as they're performing.
Yeah, good. And I'll throw some prestidigitation, a little bit of sparkles here, and lights, just kind of jazz it up a little, but nothing fancy.
You hear a few oohs and ahs and claps from the patrons of the establishment here as you perform. What's the rest of the party up to?
Vesmir is just at the table, just eyeing around, noticing the patrons. Not particularly interested in the dwarves or anybody else, just like more the human folk, and just pays attention.
Okay.
I'm just sitting at the table with the rest of the party, kind of watching Vinny do his thing, tapping along to the beat.
Good, relax. I could use some. I could use some fun. I'm going to go. I'm going to go see what this dwarven game is all about. Would you guys like to join me?
Sure.
Please go into yourself.
And Karl is keeping a watchful eye just over the room as a whole, just watching for danger, watching for people acting out of place.
Stars guide you, gentlemen. What game are you playing?
I don't know if it really has a name.
Oh, how did you play?
You have to have 2 to 4 people, and everyone throws out a single hand with any number of fingers held up. But right before the hands are thrown, each player will call out how many fingers they think will be held up in total between all the players. If a player guesses the correct number of fingers, they get a point. And it takes 3 points to win. Current bet is 1 silver. You interested?
Yes, I am. Certainly. Let us play.
I'm gonna just stand back and watch.
Give me just 1 second. All right. So, everybody kind of puts their hands behind their back, puts the silver down on the table. There's total of 4 players, including the dwarf that you just spoke to. Everybody's kind of eyeing each other a little suspiciously. It's like on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. How many fingers are you gonna pull out, Ty?
I'm gonna pull out 2 fingers.
Okay. And what is the number that you're going to call?
There are 4 people total.
There are 4 people total.
7.
7. So the dwarf that you spoke to says 5. The other one says 2 as he hiccups, and the other one says 8.
Ah, shame. Which takes it?
Hold on, I'm doing the math right now. Out of all the tavern games it could have given me. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 takes it. As there
wow.
are 8 fingers. 3, 2, 1, and 2.
Very good guess.
He scoops the 4 silver off the table.
Oh, I thought this was a points game where we earn a 1 point every time we put a hand.
Oh, I am sorry. I've had a
That's
few to
okay.
drink tonight.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to understand the game.
The silver gets put back, so there's a point there. Shit, I'm gonna have to do this 4 times. All right, how many fingers, Ty?
I'm gonna toss out 4 fingers.
All right, and how many? What's your number call gonna be?
You know, I'm gonna stick with trusty number 11.
All right, so Ty calls 11. We have a 7, we have a 6, and we have a 5. And the total is 9, 10. 14 is the number of fingers. As you call out 11, you're the closest to it. You get a point.
Oh yes, having a great time now. Yes, it's good. It's good to win. Feels good to win.
Someone has
All
7
right.
fingers.
There's 4 people. It was a 4, 5, 1, and 4.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's a total of number. All right, so another round. And Ty, how many fingers are you gonna put out?
I'm gonna go with 3, and my call is 7.
All right. The other calls go out. And we have 3, 1, that's 4, 5, 6, and 7 it is.
Oh, good, good,
Second
good.
point.
Roll it
Now-
now.
Now they're all kind of looking at you like beginner's luck.
I suppose. I suppose.
So we'll do another round.
You
I'm
can
never gonna
hear
play this.
you can hear Vinny in the background singing. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold
Oh,
'em."
and how many fingers, Ty?
This time I'm gonna send out 1 finger, and
All
my
right.
number is going to be. I'm gonna go with lucky number 13.
All right, and you call 13. Everybody's hands come out. We have a 4, 1, 5, 1. That's 5. So that's 11, and the nearest person that called was a 10.
Oh, bloody close. Good call, you. Good call.
I should not have done this to so many people. All right, for narration's sake, and it doesn't take another 15 minutes, after some more back and forth, you end up winning the pot, which is a total of 4 silver.
Oh, it's good. It's good. May I buy you all around?
We like this guy. So
Oh, well,
they
you know.
greedily agree to that, follow you towards the bar.
Of an ale for my new friends here, my gaming friends.
Eldon Eldon Pillwicken pours the ales and hands them to everybody.
Cheers, fellas. Thank you for introducing me to this game. It was very fun.
Dude, safe travels, my friend, as they clink mugs together.
Ah, yes, you too. You too.
All right. So what's everybody else doing?
Yeah. Vesmir is just sort of nursing his ale, looking just continuously around, just minding his own business.
Your
I sit-
attention's drawn to a notice board next to the end's like limestone bar, kind of at the end, tacked to the wall. You can see that there's a number of requests and different parchments with writing tacked to it.
I head over and assess the parchment.
There's a number of barter requests nailed to the notice board. Simple things like, need wagon axle, will trade ale, just a various different things. A couple things like need help with rat problems. It just looks to be like a small time job board. There's a few posters for guardsmen, caravan guardsmen willing to work. But there doesn't look to be anything recruiting anybody really that seems worthy of the party's skill. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Anything offering a significant gold amount that I can see?
There is one poster that says big money willing to purchase crystalline quartz, any amount. And there it looks to be to a local gemsmith.
Oh, so it's like a resources wanted kind of a...
Yep. But it has big money and, very large crayon-like lettering.
So just with my passive insight of 15, does it look like whoever's put this information on the board is of an intellectual demeanor, or does it look really shabby, and crude?
The large lettering would lead you to believe that it's rather crude, but the fine print that describes the crystalline quartz, it does have an air of I guess intellectualism, if that's the best you could probably pull from it. It looks to be like an experienced handwriting.
Okay, cool. Just not some schmuck writing on a wall.
No.
I don't really take much notice of it, and I return back to the table and continue slowly nursing my ale.
Most part, the evening doesn't seem to be dying down. You get the impression that the drinking is going to go on here at this establishment pretty late into the evening, early hours of the morning.
I'll play for my last song, Johnny Be Good.
All right. By this point, you've actually gotten a little bit of a following. There's a handful of people that are, tapping toes and following along. And as you complete the song, raise their mugs of ale to you. A few of them have thrown some coins up there, and in total, the three of you have generated probably, at least a gold's worth amongst yourselves.
Hey, thank you very much. I had much fun. Drink up. And I joined the party. So what you got? What'd you guys find out?
Oh, sure. I played this game with my friends, and I kind of point over to the dwarves in the corner, still probably playing the game, I imagine. They showed me how to play this new game. It was very fun. I actually won. They called it beginner's luck, and I tend to agree. I bought them another round, and then I don't know, Vesmir, you went over and you looked at that board, yeah?
Yeah, there's nothing necessarily of interest. I mean, you're more than welcome to take a look, but nothing that caught my particular attention.
Ah, no, I trust your eye. I trust your eye. I saw you fling that log earlier. That's quite the skill.
We wizards have our ways.
Oh yes, certainly you do. And Vinny, up there on the stage, you were how did they say, lights out. You did very well.
But the lights were still on. What are you talking about?
It's a turn of phrase. It's another phrase from the Circle Academy.
Oh, lights.
It means you did very well. It means you did
very well. I thought it meant knocking someone out.
Oh, yes, I suppose it's good.
Huh. I have to remember that.
Common is it's nonsensical.
Yeah. But sure is fun to speak.
Sorry.
That's it.
Talgar, you've been quiet.
It's true. Just been sitting here watching the game, sitting back, nursing my ale, watching the goings-ons.
I imagine this one is how do you say, the strong silent type, yes?
That's me.
Ah, yes.
While that was going on, Karl will have finished one of his ales, passed the barkeep another silver, got another one, and been slowly making his way toward the rest of the group at the table, discreetly.
Ah, gosh, where did you come from?
So you just materialize out of the corner.
Been here the whole time.
You're very good with that. You're very good with that bow there. Must have taken a lot of practice.
It's practice, natural skill. Not much of a difference between.
You're trying to tell me there's not much of a difference between practical skill or natural skill and practice.
All that matters is it puts the arrow into the target.
Sticking with the pointy end, yes.
Mm.
Very good, very good.
I do appreciate you being at our side. It's not easy to admit that I wasn't much use in that battlefield.
Today was my day. Tomorrow may not be.
Oh, yes, it's true. Oftentimes we don't get to decide these things, do we?
Wise words.
Sometimes it just seems like a roll of the dice.
Uh,
One quick point of order: we're still employed with the caravan, right? Like we're expected to go back and work for them tomorrow, or not?
Yep. You're expecting to get paid tomorrow.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's up to you if you want to continue on with the caravan or not. But that,
Got it.
you know, I'm assuming you're planning on going to the Sword Coast,
and that's which direction from us?
west.
West. Okay.
Stands between you and the Sword Coast is the rather imposing mountains, the Gray Peaks.
So I'm going up to Eldon, and yeah, listen, you got a really great establishment here. You got a good thing going. This ain't something I'm gonna forget. So keep it up, because tomorrow we might not be here. We may be heading westward. Anything out there that you're aware of? Any kind of rumors, dangers, troubles we got to watch out for?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking the barkeep.
He's like, well, which way you headed?
West, towards Sword Coast, I think.
Kind of raises an eyebrow and says, well, it depends on the direction that you're going and the path that you're taking. The mountains are quite treacherous.
Yeah, there's mountains involved.
You know, there's all kinds of creatures and Denzians. There's also wild men that live in the mountains that eke a living off the wildlife. So
Yeah.
danger abounds. This little, well, if you can call it civilization, this little piece that's been carved out of the desert. It's kind of the only bit for quite a ways around. At least in comparison to the bustling cities of the Sword Coast.
Yeah, I'll get to see that soon enough. But anything specific? Any kind of like dangerous dragon or legendary creature or tomb on the way or something?
He says that the mountains were mined for, you know, and still mined occasionally for crystalline quartz, kind of an energized crystal that's used in a lot of arcane experimentation. It's really only found in the you know, deepest parts of the Underdark or in certain cave structures in the Gray Peaks. And that tends to draw in various things, but nothing specific he could point you to. Honestly, he hasn't left the town in quite a while. He said since he took over the Crimson Dwarf, you know, he used to live kind of somewhat of a hermit life on his own, but circumstance brought him here and found himself the proprietor of a bar, and that keeps him pretty occupied.
Well, tell you what, when I get to the Sword Coast, me and my friends, we're going to spread the word about the Crimson Dwarf in this amazing place. Anyone come out this way, they got to come see you.
Be much appreciated.
Overhearing that conversation. Sorry, Vinny.
No, that was kind of most of what I was doing.
I'm gonna turn around and this quartz, is it is there good coin in it? Is it a worthy endeavor?
If you're able to harvest some, it's extremely valuable.
Interesting. And these mines, these mountains, they are nearby.
I mean, there's not a map to them. There's pockets here and there. They used to be worked by the dwarves from long ago, but if you find yourself a deposit, most people keep it to themselves, mine it, make their fortunes, and get the heck out of this wasteland as quickly as possible.
Yeah, certainly. Vesmir, have you heard of quartz being used in arcane construction?
Would I know anything of that?
Roll me
Can
an
I
Arcana.
roll?
Roll me Arcana. Just tell me what you get.
22.
Yeah, you know that various crystals, especially kind of some of these energized type crystals are used in all kinds of experiments in the arcane. You don't know necessarily any spells off the top of your head that would use them, but from your training and just experience and books that you've read, you do know of them, and you do know that they're quite valuable. As in, could fetch good quality crystal. It could be hundreds of gold.
I relay this information to the party, and then I also mentioned there was a notice on the board over there offering gold to those who collect quartz, and they're offering rewards, so to speak.
Oh, that's interesting. That might be worth our time.
Or it might be worth seeing who's interested and keep that in mind when we get to the Sword Coast. Don't know when we'll be back out this way.
True.
That is
True.
a possibility.
It is getting pretty late in the evening in here. It's our early hours of the morning. Eldon does say that he does have accommodations if you are needing a room. He said that they're not the finest rooms in all of the land, but he can promise you they're at least rather clean and don't have any bed bugs.
Oh, very good.
I was hoping for a snack.
Hey, wait, real quick.
Snack
Kelly,
we do have.
can I send you something and ask if I can use that?
Sure. Give me 1 second. I was actually pulling up a table.
You guys want to share rooms? Save some coin?
Hold on.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I'll be fine in my own accommodations, thank you.
I'll look at Vinny and say, I don't need much, just a corner in a room. I'll double up with somebody.
You, Mindlink, you would be able to use that, but you just arrived, and it would take you a little bit of time kind of poking around to be able to use that.
Okay.
But it is definitely something that you could do, just not at this very moment.
Gotcha.
So the rooms are 6 silver a night.
Yeah, I'll have somebody with somebody with him.
Sorry, I don't mind sharing a room to save some coin.
Oh yes, that sounds good to me.
Vesmir puts 6 coin down and says, "You gentlemen have yourselves a good evening," and makes his way up to a room.
Yes, I'm going to follow.
Okay.
By himself.
For Vinny, you were wanting to have some food?
Yeah. Well, I was joking about the bed bugs. It's a snack.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Just Karl, Ben, shall we split the room?
Sure.
Very good. Give him 3 silver.
All right. So he takes the coin, hands over keys.
Sorry, just as a player, Vinny, did you separate the gold that was uncovered, or did you just pocket it all?
The 5 gold that was uncovered, it's 1 gold for each of us.
So you did hand that out?
Yeah. So everyone should be able to add 1 gold to your inventory.
No problems.
All right. So those that are heading to bed, the night is uneventful, other than the music and the boisterous activities in the bar that eventually, 4 or 5 in the morning, finally fade away into just very quiet background noise. There's a couple patrons passed out at the bars and whatnot, but you make it through the evening with no interruptions. You get a very good night's rest, having actual bed and not just a bedroll on sand or rock, especially after the journey that you guys have just done, crossing the vast expanse of the desert. The sun is rising, and you awaken to the smells of meat cooking and bread baking, and dawn is upon you.
Well, knowing the caravan guy likes to leave early, I want to get breakfast to go.
Okay. So, talking to Eldon, he's able to pack you guys like a to-go bag. Got some sun-cured hair, some camel's milk cheese, and packs a couple to-go tankards full of some kind of a thicker, hearty ale.
Got any fortune cookies?
It says no fortune cookies, unfortunately.
Nah.
But there's some bakers in town that you would probably be able to accommodate you. And he thanks you for your patronage and wishes you safe travels as you head out towards the Grey Peaks. Don't forget to spread the word of the hospitality of the Crimson Dwarf.
You got it. And then I rush out towards the caravan. I'm not waiting for anyone.
But he takes off.
Was there a cost for this meal in the morning?
It's included with the room. It's your continental breakfast.
Oh, thank
Cool.
you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And take care.
Pleasure. And
Thank you for your hospitality.
Vesmir walks out.
Okay, so you meet up with the guys whose name I can't ever fucking remember. Azam?
Azam. Well, think of
Yeah,
this,
but you know-
Alakazam.
Yeah, it's just my brain's getting mushy.
Fair enough.
So he's actually there, and it looks like he's finalizing a sale of the wagons. All of the crates and the goods and stuff that you've hauled all the way here, all look to have been sold at this point or offloaded somewhere. And he's exchanging basically a receipt for a rather hefty bag. And he sees you approaching and says, "Just in time. I just finalized the sale, and we won't have to try to get these wagons across. We'll have to travel a day or two on foot, and then we will be arriving at the moors, where we will settle ourselves with some pack animals, load up on provisions, and begin the journey across the Grey Peaks." He's an old friend of mine and quite hospitable.
I'm sorry, who's a good friend of yours?
Don't have his name pulled up at the moment, but he's just a friend of his at a location called the Moors.
Ah, very good, very good.
But that's where we will switch out for pack meals and whatnot. And this seems like a good place to pause the session. We will continue next week.
Cool. Sorry,
Jen
just
doesn't
as a player, were we paid to be with this caravan, or are we just traveling with this caravan?
Yeah, I will settle up your. Matter of fact, I will go ahead and each one of you receives 30 gold.
Hey, shinies.
For your escort and guarding the caravan safely to this point. And you'll have an opportunity to go shopping and stuff before y'all set out to the moors.